I wouldn't be surprised if he started it, like he initiated it, you know. So at the end of the day, I mean, you got to. If we get to the 5 second, bro, if we get to the fifth round with the 10 seconds left, I think he might beat me to it and might point down first. And you know, for sure, I'm gonna happily accept that any day of the week.
He is the BMF champion, one of the greatest featherweights of all time, and he's days away from returning to action at UFC 318 main event against Dustin Poirier. It is always my great pleasure to speak to my old friend, Max Blessed Holloway. Max, how are you?
Good, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for taking time for me as always. You know I appreciate it. So how is everything? Let me just start here. Like, how is it being a lightweight again?
Much more fun than being a featherweight. I'll tell you that much.
I remember we spoke before the Justin Gaethje fight, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. Kind of paraphrasing. You said that when you fought Dustin at lightweight, you just kind of were a featherweight who put on weight and fought at lightweight. But when you fought Gaethje, you treated your body like a lightweight. Like you put on the muscle, you put on the size. Has that been the case for this as well, where you actually feel like a lightweight now?
Oh, for sure. You know, I mean, I made my announcement on my YouTube channel saying that I'm gonna be staying at 55. You know, after the last fight. So yeah, we here. You know, with that, like everybody keep bringing up the second Dustin fight. You know, and then they compare myself to the Gaethje fight with the UFC 300. It's just time. You know, it was just time. You know, we just had more time to get ready for that 300 fight. You know, and with the Dustin second fight, it was just you get offered something like that, you don't turn it down. I guess it's just like what this belt says. You know, anybody, anywhere, anytime. That is what it is.
Yeah. Can I ask, like, now that you are like, obviously, as you get more advanced in your career, like you add on size, you add on weight. Is it safe to say featherweight like it's done forever? I know you can
Oh, bro,
never say never, but
no, yeah, and you say never. I'm not going back to 45, bro. I'm over it. Where am I in my career? You know, with my age and everything, I just think 55 is a much better fit for me now, and we're here to stay for good. So I don't know why people start voting my name in being in the featherweight in the featherweight division. You know, give somebody else take my name out and add somebody else to the top 15 because I'm no longer going there.
yeah, don't get me started on the rankings. I just looked at it this morning, and they have Gaethje one spot ahead of you, and like, how does that work? Like, didn't you just knock him out like less than a year ago? So you
Did
never
they
know about
change?
these
Did they
rankings.
change? Did they change it again? Oh my gosh! Yeah, this is. I mean, I don't know, bro. I mean, the rankings. I wouldn't take too concern of it, or take it too seriously, just because you and I know we live in a sport where moments are kings. You know what I mean? And if I can go out there, I can have a UFC 300 moment again. Come July 19th. Who's to say I'm not right there for an undisputed title again? So we see what happens.
100%, 100%. What was your initial reaction when you got the call about this third fight with Dustin? Because I think it's the one everyone thought was going to happen, and Dustin announced he's retiring. It's going to New Orleans. But you have history. You have a couple fights in the past. So were you surprised? Were you happy? Like, what was your reaction when you got the call for this third fight with Dustin?
I mean, like you said, a lot of people had speculations already that I had no idea. And I was like, bro, I don't know. My phone didn't ring yet. And then when it did ring, I was like, oh, wow, cool. It's an honor. It's an honor to fight a future Hall of Famer for sure. Again, for a third time. Only thing on my mind is not trying to go freaking 0-2 in trilogies. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's an honor to share the octagon and with him for a third time. He's an animal, but while he's riding off to sunset, I'm still gonna be here. So I gotta stake my claim come Saturday night.
I know you're absolutely going in there expecting to face the best Dustin Poirier that's ever been, but something got brought up to me by another fighter, and I think you kind of addressed this in an interview where you talked to somebody asked you about when are you retiring and when are you you're like I'm still in it, man. I'm not going anywhere. When guys plan these retirement fights, like these moments where like I'm done after this one. Matt Brown is the one who told me he's like I don't like when that happens because it feels like they already have one foot out the door. Like are they as focused? Are they as hungry? You're looking at this as like I beat Dustin Poirier, I maybe get a title shot. He's looking at this like, well, I'm done either way. So like I know you're expecting the best Dustin Poirier, but how do you feel about that mentality? Because when Matt said that to me, I was like, I guess that's kind of true. Like he does kind of have one foot out the door already.
Yeah, I mean, you can't deny what Matt's saying there. So at the end of the day, we see what happens, you know. But you saw the promo, I saw the promo for this fight. We heard the words Dustin's saying. So it is his last fight, bro. We are in his hometown, you know what I mean? So I'm leaning more towards the way of like Dustin wants to leave with a bang. And even if the bang he's on the bad end of the bang, I think so he's gonna leave it leave it with a bang. So at the end of the day, I'm getting ready for a Dustin Poirier fight times like 20. You know, like this is you could look at it the other way, you know, like how you saying, like I'm looking at it like, oh, I can get a title shot. He could be looking at like this is the fight I want to be remembered for. This might be the this is my last fight. This is what I want to get remembered for. So I'm gonna go out there with guns blazing. So at the end of the day, I think so. It can play two sides of the sword for sure, but we may never know. I guess what I like to say is we get to find out Saturday night, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. To that point, Max, when you look at this, I mean, you've been in there, you spent time like your very first UFC fight on short notice was against Dustin, and you did spend 25 minutes in there, as you mentioned, maybe not the best situation, but obviously went out there and put on a fight of the year. Um, how well do you feel like you know Dustin at this point? Like it's got to be one of the guys you know the best in terms of like you just spent time with him, you prepared for him so much. It's got to be a guy you're just like I know this guy, I know how to fight him now.
100%. It's not even taking spending the time in the octagon with him away. It's just he's a guy that you just watch. You know what I mean? Like he's always on. Whenever he's on a card, he's the future prelim, or he's like the future on the main card or co-main event or the main event. So like I said, man, we have bro I've been in the UFC for like 13 years now, so I can like with him being in the UFC longer, we have so much footage of our fights out there. It's just crazy, bro. You know, a lot of these guys that are coming to the end and with probably dealing with retirements or are retiring. It's just, bro, we have so much footage, so much tape. You watch that fight so many times that you kind of feel like, oh, I know this person, you know?
Yeah, you mentioned retiring. Can I ask? I'm curious, Max. This is down the road for you, but I'm curious. Like when the day comes that you decide to call it a career, do you feel like you'd want this kind of big grand exit? Because for some reason in my head, just knowing you as well as I do, it almost feels like you'd be the guy to just kind of like fade off into the sunset. Some guys don't want this big grand, this moment. Like I know this is down the road, but like, would you want this kind of like card built around you, or do you feel like you're the kind of guy just where like one day, like, yeah, I'm done.
I mean, it'd be cool, I mean, like half of me saying yeah, half of me saying no. Like you said, to be honest, bro, when it comes, it's probably just gonna be one of those things where I'm being there after the fight, tell you guys I'm done, I'm over. Thank you for the love, and put my glove down and walk out that octagon. With all this grand gesture and everything, it's cool, it's nice, but knowing me personally. I probably would just tell my wife. I mean, I wouldn't even tell them actually. I don't think I'll tell anybody. I think so. I'll just bring it upon all of them and just surprise them all, surprise everyone, and just be like, "Yeah, guys, I'm done. I'm over. F you, F you, F you. You're cool. I'm out." Nah, all jokes aside, but I probably keep it a secret. I'll probably keep it a secret, do it, and just in the heat of the moment, man. You don't know how you feel in certain moments, so it'd probably just be something that just I did something after the fight and be like, you know what, I'm over it, and just announce it then and there. My wife might get caught off guard too.
With that being said, you mentioned like this is like this moment for Dustin, but I know like you're not going out there to be Dustin Poirier's last win. Like you're not going out there to be the guy that Dustin Poirier gets to go out on the bang. So like this is a big moment for you. I mean, I know you can play spoiler here, right? Like it's hometown, but hey, you're not going out there to just be Dustin Poirier's final opponent. You're going out there to get a win over Dustin Poirier and put yourself right back in the title contention. I think it gets lost so much when we talk about Dustin's retirement. You're like, hey, I'm not planning to just lay down for Dustin.
Never, never, not for any fight. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like you said, it sucks to be spoiler, but it has to be done. When he's riding into the sunset, like you said, I'm still gonna be here chugging along, trying to get a title shot or trying to win trying to become a double champ and make history. So at the end of the day, I gotta go out there and do my thing. It sucks that it has to be this one, it has to be Dustin's last one, but that's just the way the cards unfold.
Yeah. Can I ask, like, now that you are at lightweight, you look at the lay of the land. Can I ask, did you see Ilia's debut against Charles, and what did you think of that?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, who didn't see that fight? I wasn't able to watch it live because we was training during that time. But after the session, we got to watch it, and I was like, oh damn, it went exactly like how I thought. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that to Charles, and I wouldn't be surprised if Charles somehow won with catching him at a submission or hurting him and then submitting him, right? So at the end of the day, bro, he looked very good. He's doing what he's doing, and it's all respect to him. But I know we got like I said, we have history. I go out there, I do some type of moment. You know how these sports go, and I'm right back in there.
100%. I think it's kind of funny because, like, I'm sure you would have absolutely loved to have fight Islam. You were going to fight Khabib back in the day, but now it's like there's even a little bit, just a little extra mustard on the sandwich, so to speak, with Ilia being champion, right? Because not only does it give you a chance to become champion, but it gives you a chance to get a win over a guy that you've already fought. Like there's just a little extra bonus in there.
For sure, 100%. And like you said, man, the little extra push is always great, but I can't wait. I was ecstatic when they announced that he was fighting for the undisputed title against who he's fighting with. I have history with both men, so I was like, brother, I just gotta go out there do my job, and hopefully here soon we find out where the lay of the land are looking.
You exist in a world between featherweight and lightweight where, like, there was always this weird looming cloud of when Connor was around, where it's like Connor comes back, he kind of jumps the line because it's Connor, right? You're like, yeah, I'll fight Connor because it's a big payday, he's a huge name. I'm curious your thoughts on this situation now because it looks like Paddy Pimblett is going to kind of jump the line and get this fight with Ilia. Now I know this is out of your control. You have no say in what they decide to do. You got guys like Armin and guys like Justin Gaethje saying, "Hey, I should get the title shot." What do you make of if this is the way it plays out and Paddy gets the title shot? Like, is that okay? Because it doesn't. He's not Connor. We know he's not Connor, but it kind of feels like a similar situation where it's like they have this personal grudge, so it's almost like Paddy kind of just jumps everybody, even though technically he doesn't deserve it.
Well, brother, I mean, we're in a sport when I say we have moments, and we're in it, like, people forget, like, we're in the entertainment business. This is what it is. That's what fighting is. We're entertainment, and whatever set of seats, that's what UFC is gonna do. When you talk about the rankings and Armin, we have the president talking about how, yeah, Armin's taking a right step of getting a title shot again, which is, insane. And then, with the Justin Gaethje saying about a title shot, and I'm like, I mean, my last 55 fight, I did what I did, and now I'm here at 55, so it's just weird, man. It's just weird. Just moments, like I said, if I can go out there, create a moment close to 300. Imagine I go out there, I do my thing, and then we have a moment like 300, a 10-second knockout. I'm right back in there, and the title shots, the title talk. So at the end of the day, it's entertainment, man. You can't be mad. You can't be mad at anything, man. You want something in here. You gotta open your mouth. What is the saying? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. So that's how it
Yeah.
goes.
And I don't know if you saw or not. I saw Paddy. He picked you to win this fight. He said, "I think Max is going to win." So I'm not asking you to pay back the favor, but do you give him a shot at beating a guy like Ilya?
Brother, it's MMA. It's mixed martial arts. Anybody can win, and everybody can say we saw Paddy get cracked. You know what I mean? I saw myself get cracked a bunch of times. And then when Ilia hit me, we saw what we saw. So at the end of the day, it's just a mixed martial arts. I think Paddy and their team will prepare right for that fight. I think so. They have a game plan, and he's no slouch. A lot of people thought Paddy was like this guy who just talks and run his mouth, and then he got to prove himself against a guy like Chandler. And he's not a wrestler, but he out wrestled a wrestler, which was just pretty crazy to see. So he's super good, and this is mixed martial arts, man. It's just what's going on that day, and whoever can apply their game plan that they've been doing, that you never know.
And last thing, I'll get you out of here on this, Max. You said, like, if you can have another moment, you said the sport is moments. And I remember when we did the pre-fight for Ilia, and Ilia kept talking about the, like, let's do the point down at the start of the fight. And you're like, that's not really the point of the point down. Like, you kind of do it. I know you'd love to go out and just get a knockout over Dustin Poirier. Maybe you put him away in the third round. Maybe you put him away in the fourth round. But if for some whatever reason it does go in that fifth round, are you willing to do that, like, that moment? Because you said this is about moments. Is
Oh,
that
for
the
sure.
potential?
100%. And with Dustin, bro, like he's a point down guy too. So I wouldn't be surprised if he started, if like, he initiated it, you know. So at the end of the day, I mean, you got to. If we get to the 5 second, bro, if we get to the fifth round with the 10 seconds left, I think he might beat me to it and might point down first. And for sure, I'm gonna happily accept that any day of the week.